Everything about the Acolyte up until this point really hasn't been good news for Disney Star Wars. First, it was reported that they spent nearly $50 million on just the pre-production phase. And then when everything's all said and done, they're probably looking at a price tag of around $170 million, maybe upwards of even $200 million, which puts it at one of the most expensive Star Wars properties for Disney Plus. And that would be bad enough spending that much money, because we've seen in the past that even on some of their more popular shows, it really has a tough time recuperating the budget unless they're actually getting numbers like the first couple seasons of The Mandalorian. But then we got the first trailer for the Acolyte, and that's when things started really looking bad and where it became obvious, because you can see from the like to dislike ratio, it's just getting completely destroyed, and then the comment section isn't much better. And this isn't just for the trailer. They're having a pretty bad like to dislike ratio for basically anything the official Star Wars account is releasing for the Acolyte. But now we're starting to get early reactions for the show from some critics and other people within the Access Media who are getting early glimpses of it. And surprise, surprise, apparently when the critics watch it, they just seem to love this show. You got this one right here. The Acolyte is a breath of fresh air in the Star Wars galaxy, offering a unique story with a spectacular cast of characters, says one early reaction, with another adding, it captures everything that is great about classic Star Wars while feeling new and unique. Wow, who could have seen this coming? The early access media people that Disney is cherry picking to give an advanced screening to happen to really like their new Star Wars show. But look at this next one. I'm overjoyed at how awesomely diverse this cast is. I think this is the person they're trying to pander to with that comment, or did they just get that talking point directly from Disney? This is exactly how Star Wars should look. First episode was slightly underwhelming. Oh wow, some actual criticism. But each one gets progressively better. The cast has nice chemistry and the stunt work fight choreography is brilliant. Okay, so there was some criticism, but overall it was fairly positive. I've seen 4 episodes of The Acolyte, and thus far it's a very big winner. The cast of characters, the heavy emphasis on practical effects, the stunts, how they're exploring what it means to be a Force user, and how the Jedi Order operates. It's all working quite well for me. So this person apparently really likes The Acolyte, and that's just kind of a common denominator when it comes to all these early access screenings for these people, that they seem to all love it. And like I was saying, it's just surprising that all the people that Disney cherry picks to give advanced screenings to have to be heaping a lot of praise on them. But the thing about this, because you would think like, okay, this is good news for The Acolyte. That means when it comes out, even despite all the early hate from people that are probably just bots and other things like that online, right? Because I know that's the excuse people try to make. Overwhelmingly, when people watch it, they actually like it, until you start considering, we've seen this type of thing before with some of the other Disney Star Wars properties. Like just take Obi-Wan, for instance, when that came out, or before it came out, when early access critics got to see the pre-screenings of this is what they had to say about it too. First episode over, and wow, what a start to Obi-Wan. A very special premiere that pulls Obi-Wan into the action in a very unexpected way. Glad they're releasing 2 at once, because 1 is not enough. Obi-Wan Kenobi's first episode is really surprising. I really enjoyed it in ways that I wasn't expecting. Some big character moments and surprising plot lines drive it to set up a really intriguing start. It feels like there's still so much more to come. The rest of the article just kind of highlights some other responses to the show. Obi-Wan Kenobi gets off to a great start. Obi-Wan is 10 out of 10. Obi-Wan Kenobi is a masterpiece. You get the idea. The critics that Disney brought in loved this show, but once the show actually came out and audiences were able to chime in, it changed a bit. But still, I will say for its favor that it was positive, or at least 62% on Rotten Tomatoes is somewhat positive. It's not a negative score, but it's also not terrible either. It's just a little bit better than bad, I guess. So maybe you can say it was not bad, if that makes any sense. If that's a positive review, that's what it's basically saying right here. And one of the other benefits for Obi-Wan was it was the cheapest Disney Plus Star Wars show to produce, or at least as far as their live action ones go. And this got better viewership than the Book of Boba Fett. Never mind the fact that that was the worst viewed Disney Plus Star Wars show that live action ones go, but still it did better than that. It wasn't the worst one. It was the cheapest to make, and the audience score wasn't bad. But despite all that, all those things going in its favor, it still wasn't profitable enough for Disney to continue with the second season, or at least right now we don't know about a second season. Ewan McGregor said that they're not making one, and he wants to make another season of this. So it's looking like it just wasn't profitable enough for Disney. And you would think with how much bad luck Disney's been having at the box office and on their Disney Plus platform the last couple of years, if there was something that was making them money, then they would continue with it. But this apparently wasn't making them money. and it had a lot more going for it than something like the Acolyte. You can even look at the trailer for it and see it was actually pretty positively received. If you look at the like to dislike ratio, compare that to the Acolyte, and this is just pretty devastating news. And it doesn't have the luxury of being built around a legacy character that people like. This is just something completely new, and they even say they're trying to change up how we know Star Wars and basically make something completely different, because Disney understands that they've already alienated the Star Wars fan base that they once had, and they're more or less, I think, using the Acolyte as trying to build things from the ground up and see if they can cultivate a new Star Wars fan base. And we'll see if that pays off for them, but I'm really just not expecting much. I'm thinking, since this is the most expensive Disney Star Wars show to date, and this is actually has the most backlash before the release of the show, I'm expecting this one to be a colossal failure for Disney, and that's why they're pretty much pulling out all their old tricks of bringing in people from the media that they know are going to be friendly towards them and just kind of heap praise on them and stuff like that, just to try to build up some momentum. But I think that's ultimately going to be futile. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest in entertainment news. And if you don't mind, click the like button and share the video because it helps out with the channel. Thank you.